Democratic presidential candidate and self-help author Marianne Williamson is pushing President Biden to debate her. And so far, President Biden has said no, and the Democratic National Committee has agreed. In a recent poll, 62% of Democratic voters say they support Biden for the nomination. 15% Robert Kennedy Jr., 4% Marianne Williamson, which means effectively President Biden, the incumbent Democratic president, does not enjoy the support of 38% of Democratic voters. Marianne Williamson with us now from London. Ma'am, it's nice to see you. We appreciate it. First things first, if you want to debate President Biden, depends on the format, but you may be able to ask him a question or two. What would be the question?
Oh, if I was well, first of all, in a debate, I don't get to ask him a question. The moderator would be asking both of us.
Depends on the rules, but sometimes you do. Go ahead.
That's true.
You mean if I was the moderator, why would I ask him? I could suppose that I would ask him why he thinks that he should be president for another 4 years. And I would hope that that moderator would ask me why I think I should be president for the next 4 years. And I would talk about the fact that I feel that the president represents incremental change, the alleviation of stress. When you have 70% of Americans who say that they live with constant economic stress, what the president's policies do is help to alleviate some of the stress that Americans living in the richest country in the world are experiencing because of the economic injustice that makes it the way that it is. I feel that with my agenda, and I feel what the Democratic Party should stand for, is an end to the injustice. We should stand for fundamental economic reform. And that is what my agenda is. And that's why there should be debate so that people can hear about that.
All right. You said here that 70% say they have economic stress. A tweet from you a couple of years ago, many years ago, August 19th, 2020, we need to elect Joe Biden because there's a fascist in the White House, period, full stop. I think what you're saying is that you believe Joe Biden sort of failed in his promises to make real change economically.
I think the president deserves credit for the fact that he won in 2020. But I believe that 2024 is a different election. And I think in order to defeat the Republicans in 24, we're going to have to be able to offer the American people something more than incremental change. You know, if you're in the top 20% of the American economy, life is pretty good in this country. But that 20%, it's like we're living on an island surrounded by a vast sea of economic despair. You have 1 in 4 Americans who live with medical debt. You have 18 million Americans who cannot afford to pay for the prescriptions that their doctors give them. We have 1/3 of America's workforce living for less than $15 an hour and can't even find a place to live. We have half of our seniors living on less than $25,000 a year. So Americans are looking for a way out of this constant economic anxiety. And I don't believe that the president's policies offer the kind of fundamental change which I'm offering, which is an actual economic U-turn. I'm saying to the American people that we in this country should have what they have in every other advanced democracy, as in universal health care. We should have what they have in every other advanced democracy, like free college tuition at public colleges and universities.
I understand the point. Help me, in order to get on a debate stage, if there even was a debate, it would almost certainly include the loyalty clause, right? Which is what the Republicans are doing, that if you get on the debate stage, you have to promise to support the nominee, which, at least if you look at the current polling, is likely to be Joe Biden, may not be. Same way with the Republicans, likely to be Donald Trump, may not be. Would you sign a loyalty pledge that if there was a debate and Joe Biden won the nomination, that you'd agree to support him and not run as an independent?
I was on 2 Democratic debates last time, and there was no such loyalty clause. So I'm not going to step into a trap here. I have not been asked to sign a loyalty clause.
I just asked, would you? It's a yes or no question.
I think that it's very important that the Democratic Party treat all of the candidates fairly, and I will act accordingly. Listen, what I am loyal to is my country. What I'm loyal to is my country more than a party, and I believe in the promises of the traditional Democratic Party. Otherwise, I wouldn't be running as a Democrat. But I think
you're running as a Democrat now. But what I don't hear you doing in any way is ruling out a third-party run, which I take as you'd be willing to run in a third party if you don't get the nomination.
You know, I will do whatever feels in my heart is the best contribution that I can make to making sure that my country makes an economic U-turn.
Fair enough. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.